Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with a little first impressions review for you of the Spyderco Swayback. Also, a question for all of you. You probably saw it in the thumbnail if you looked at it. I do have an opportunity to purchase this one, and I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. I missed out when they first came around because I started reading some reviews of people that got them early, and there was a couple of things that kind of turned me off, so I kind of skipped on it. But now that I have one, there are a lot of things I really like. There's still a couple glaring things that I don't like, things I knew I wouldn't like from previous reviews. I really try not to watch reviews ahead of time, but this one I was kind of excited about, so I did, and now I'm just like, oh, I don't know. But we'll get to that at the end. This is a Martin Swish design. Does a whole lot of really awesome stuff for Spyderco, always made in Taiwan. He did the infamous, or famous, I guess I should say, not infamous. Infamous is bad. Very famous, very well-respected Swish buoy. The Spidey Chef, which I love to tiny little pieces. He did the Techno too. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. This one, I'm not sure is quite as well regarded as some of his other designs, because like I said, it does have one glaring flaw, which we'll talk about later. But it is a very well-constructed knife, and I love the materials. XHP steel. I love XHP. You don't see it very much anymore. I know it's kind of hard for the knife industry to get their hands on. I know that's why cold steel switched away from it, because it is used for other things, and it's pretty hard to get. But I'm so glad to see it back again. I love the hollow ground Wharncliffe blade. You guys know I love a Warney. I do like the look of the Swayback design, which harkens back to some very old, very, very old knives and very old handle designs. And it is overall, other than this area here, it's a very good looking knife. And that was the first thing that drew me to it. And of course, in the initial release photos, they only showed this side. They didn't show that. I know some people say this grows on them. I'm not there yet. I haven't had this for very long. We'll talk a lot more about that later. I'm already getting on the warpath about that pocket clip. But yeah, pretty cool knife. It is larger than I expected. I guess not now that I've seen more reviews of it, but just in photos, I just kind of assumed it was going to be more like a 3-inch blade. No, it's a little over actually 3.5-inch blade. It's a full 8-inch knife. It is a big sucker. It has kind of a traditional look to it, but it is pretty large. Segue. Let's do some specs and size comparisons. As I said, you have a 3.53-inch blade, overall length of just a hair over 8 inches. Blade thickness of 0.14 inches, handle thickness of 0.48 inches, and a weight, according to my scales, of 3.92 ounces. Now the size comparisons. Of course, we got to bring out the Spydercos first. You have your Spyderco Para 3 and the Spyderco PM2. So you can see, yeah, it's a pretty good sized knife. It's almost PM2 length, pretty much, as near as not matters, the length of PM2. Bring out the Benchmades, and then we'll bring out my only other Martin Swish knife that I have here. We have the, nope, I buried one, sorry about that. Oh, the drawer. We have the full-size Benchmade Bug Out. It's pretty significantly larger than that. And the full-size Benchmade Griptilian. Again, very similar overall length to a Griptilian. And then lastly, one we're going to compare it to more. Very similar in construction and things, but probably, I would say, the most produced of his designs through Spyderco. That would be the Spidey Chef. This is LC200N steel, but that same kind of, titanium stonewash look to it for sure. Slightly different finish on the blade, but yeah, it's pretty much the same overall length as a Spidey Chef. And this is one of my absolute favorites of the collection, so that's why I'm kind of intrigued by this, why I want to take a closer look at it. The blade is awesome. I don't know what else to say. It's 15 thousandths behind the edge. It's pretty rare for Spyderco to have something that thin, and it's a very, very good hollow grind. It is a bit of thicker blade stock than it probably needs to be, but it's still, oh my golly, gee whiz willikers, this thing slices. Holy crap. I love the way this thing cuts. It's just awesome. I was buzzing through some cardboard today just to, get a feel for it. And wow, extremely impressed with it. It's not much of a piercer or anything. I mean, it comes down to a pretty good tip, but it's not that dainty of a tip for a Warney. So I do give it some props there. It's still, you be careful with it, but it's not as thin as some can be. But yeah, still on the thinnish side, but it's not as bad. But it's just such a great slicer. I love Warnies for just kind of daily stuff. Always have. I have lots of them, and this one is one of the better ones I've ever handled. This blade is just out freaking standing. I really, really do love the blade. I love XHP steel. I wish we saw it more. XHP is kind of a higher grade D2 that's stainless, so it holds an edge for a really good long time, and it's just excellent. Ergos are pretty good. That's one of the problems I have with this. There's two things. First of all, the Swayback for my fairly large hands. I have large size gloves, but pretty skinny fingers, but my palm fits about the size what a large would be. So I wish it didn't sway up. It sways up a bit too much. Like, you can kind of see the way that it's contacting me. I'm kind of contacting up here and back here, and up here is nothing. It's like the Eastern Front in World War II. There's something here, and then off to the east there's nothing. So yeah, it's World War II reference. That's a good one too, by the way. And the other problem I have with it is right here where the lock bar is cut out. That could definitely be chamfered down a little bit. If I wound up purchasing this thing, this would get a Dremel wheel, toot sweet. It's not really doing anything, so there's no need for it to be that sharp. I could definitely just take that down, and it's not going to affect the operation of the knife whatsoever. And lastly, not as big a deal, but not only is this pocket clip hideous, I can feel it under my hand. Not what I would call a hot spot, because again, my hand isn't engaged there, but yeah, I'm not loving it. I can definitely feel it's there. What was wrong with the wire clip? What was wrong with this? Why did they not just put... All of his other ones have the wire clips. All of them. Why does this not just have a wire clip? I don't understand it. You're good at that, Spyderco. Do that. Stop doing this. You invented the pocket clip. Why do you do this? I don't get it. I'm sorry. This is just going to be half review of the pocket clip, half review of the knife is probably what this is going to wind up being, because that really annoys me. As far as the carry goes, though, it does carry really well. I have no issue where the pocket clip sits. Usually I give Spyderco a really hard time, about stuff sticking out of the pocket too far. This does stick out a pretty good amount, but it still carries fine. I don't mind that. That's just a little bit to grab a hold of. Like, that's okay. It's not too bad. And it is very easy to carry as far as getting your hand past and all that stuff. No flipper tab, all those things, and the weight is fine. 3.92 ounces. It's over that ounce and inch thing, but only by a hair. I don't really mind that at all. It carries fine. The retention's good. It is nice and bright and shiny, so everybody knows you have something in your pocket. That's not something everybody's going to love to tiny little pieces or anything, but it's there. It works. It's functional for absolutely sure. But it's ugly. It does not fit the style, the design of the knife. It doesn't fit the previous design language of the Martin Swish designs. I do not understand why they did this. I really don't. I can't imagine it's even cheaper than a wire clip. The wire clip had to have been cheaper. It just had to have been. I don't get it. It wouldn't have interfered with the lanyard hole or anything. Totally 100% do not get it. If you're watching this Spyderco, which I'm sure you're not, please email me and explain it to me, because I really, really, really don't get it. Now onto the action. Very smooth. Detent is outstanding. It is not at all drop shutty, like not a bit, but it is super, super smooth. And I will say, I know it took a long time for my Spidey Chef to get like it is, which is just kind of a it also runs on washers, but it's kind of a one little wrist flick sort of drop shut thing. It took a long time for it to get that way. And I assume this is going to be the same thing. I don't know if it's ever going to be quite as drop shutty as the Spidey Chef is, but we'll find out. And I haven't taken this apart or anything yet. Like I said, this is just kind of first impressions. But yeah, the price on this, which I did not mention yet, which I'm sorry about that, $273, which honestly don't really have an issue with. The Spidey Chef's a little more expensive than that. It's same designer, same factory, basically same materials, XHP versus LC200N. I don't think there's a huge difference in price between those. I really don't have an issue with the price on it. I have no problems there, not at all. But this was loaned to me by Nick Shabazz, and he did say that I could buy it. He said, take a week. Actually, I said, how much is it going to cost me if I want to buy it? He said, take a week and decide, and we'll talk. So I do have an option to purchase this. Should I? It's not an immediate yes. It's an immediate strong maybe. I would say right now it's a 60-40 situation. I load that pocket clip. I did search around. I did see the MXG Gear makes a really nice milled universal, Spyderco pocket clip that looks like it would fit this perfectly. Some other companies like Rip's Garage and Adam Purvis have made them before as well. Those are a lot more expensive. The Rip's Garage one isn't much more expensive, but they're not as available. The MXG one I can just order it and have it in a few days, and then I might do that. I might even do that even if I'm still trying to decide, because it's $45, and I'm sure I could sell the clip to somebody if I had to, afterwards, or find another Spyderco. It's a universal Spyderco pocket clip. This is the same pattern you get like on a PM2 or anything like that. So I have other knives I could put it on. Hell, I could put it on my PM2 that I use for size comparison. So I'll probably just buy one of those, probably as soon as I'm done recording this, let's be honest, and then put that on and check it out. But yeah, this clip just sticks up so high. That's why you can feel it, and it's just hideous. It's like a record scratch in the middle of a really great song. That's kind of how I feel about it. I think I would like this knife infinitely better. And again, I don't have a problem with the price, and $45 for a milled clip that this should have come with. Even though I don't love milled clips, this is a knife that should have come with it, or the wire clip, preferably the wire clip. But barring that, it should have come with a milled clip, because it's a classy looking knife, and this is not a classy looking clip at all. So I'm probably going to do that, give it another shot. But what do you guys think? I mean, it's cool, definitely, for sure, and it's a Martin Swish Spyderco. It's not like they lose value very much. We'll have to see. I'm buying it used. I'd be selling it used, so probably I wouldn't lose any money on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to see this more on the channel, or are you in the meh like I was when I first watched reviews of it? I'm not meh anymore. I freaking love this blade. I adore it. And I like the way it looks on this side a whole lot. But I'm not sure about, actually, I'm very sure about this side. I hate that. I really hate it. Have I made that clear yet? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this partial knife review, partial asking a question, partial just hating on a pocket clip. I've been Brian. Have a good one.